Hello, this is Mrs. Mack, a third grade teacher at Lafayette Upper Elementary School. Go Lions! Please let your teacher know if you have any questions or concerns or help with your Canvas lessons. Today we are learning how to multiply using arrays and repeated addition. If I look at my first problem, it says 4 times 2. The numbers 4 and 2 are my factors. And this is telling me 4 times 2 that I need to have 4 down and 2 across. And if I were to count up all of the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I would get the product of 8. I can also flip my factors around and do 2 times 4, which is telling me to go down 2 and 4 across, and I would still get the same product of 8. If I were to use repeated addition using the factors of 2 times 4, I would use the factor of 2 and add it together 4 times. How would I add it? It would look like this. 2 plus 2 is 4. I would take that 4 and add 2 more and get 6. I would take that 6 and add 2 more and I would get 8. If I were to flip my factors and do 2 times 4, this is telling me that I'm adding the factor of 4 2 times. 4 plus 4 is 8. Regardless of whether you do arrays or repeated addition, the product for 2 times 4 and 4 times 2, the product is 8. Now I'm going to look at 5 times 3. 5 and 3 are my factors. The factor of 5 tells me to go down 5, and the factor of 3 tells me to go across. If I were to count all of the boxes, I would get a product of 15. I can also flip my factors and make it 3 times 5. Again, this is telling me that I have to go 3 down and 5 across, and if I were to count all of the boxes, I would get the product of 15. I can also use repeated addition to find the product of 3 times 5. This is telling me to add the number 5 3 times. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 5 more is 15. If I were to flip my factors, and I would add the number 3 5 times. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 more is 9, plus 3 more is 12, plus 3 more is 15. Regardless of whether you use arrays or repeated addition, my product is 15. Now let's look at 6 times 3. 6 and 3 are my factors. 6 down and 3 across. And if I were to count them all up, I would get a product of 18. If I were to flip my numbers around, that would be 3 down and 6 across. And if I were to count all the squares, my product would be 18. If I were to use repeated addition, I would add the factor of 6 3 times. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 more is 18. If I were to flip my factors around and do 6 times 3, I would add the factor of 3 6 times. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 more is 9, plus 3 more is 12, plus 3 more is 15, plus 3 more is 18. Regardless of whether you use repeated addition or arrays, my product for 6 times 3 and 3 times 6 is 18. Now we're going to look at 8 times 4. I have 8 down and 4 across. I am going to split up my array to make it easier to multiply. I'm going to break it up into a 2 by 4 and a 6 by 4. If I were to multiply these together, I would still get 32. 2 times 4 is 8. 6 times 4 is 24. If I were to count all of these squares up, I would get 32. Another way I could split 8 times 4 up is 8 times 2 and 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 16 would get me 32, which is the product of 8 times 4. I hope you found this video helpful. Please let your teacher know if you have any questions. Bye!